tonight we must choose whether we face it, accept it, or let it hit us. It can be harsh and hard. It's reality. The harsh reality of this show is we've swapped horsepower for gigabytes tonight. We're the sty in your third eye. We're the windsock kept inside. Fear no breakup. Have you in the last week witnessed the death of crack? And if so, what have you done about it? Do ducks have hips? As the dragon flies. You never hear from the eyewitness, do you? Only from the cops or the reporters. Let's give crime a voice. Let's give vice a voice. The bots are banging on the barn door, disguising their shit-stirring shill voice boxes. What's the matter? It's mostly dark. I see a chair, you see a chair. There's probably a chair. This show wholeheartedly condones gratuitous silence. This show firmly believes that it has not been interfered with by the Russians. But that's what they want you to think. The Russian bots are steamed up and banging on the door. Let's crack on with a bit of Kjol.
Good luck, Paddy. It was lovely to see you. Yeah, see you now, Paddy. Ah, Jesus, Paddy's a great man, isn't he? Oh, he is, yeah. He's a legend. I know, he's a great chap now, and he wouldn't say a bad word about anyone. I know, he's a good man. Is he a bit of a bollocks, though? He is. And is his father a bit of a cunt? He would be, yeah.
All the tracks tonight are about crimes. We're obsessed with crime. True crime. Not so true crime, the perfect crime, criminals, crime stories, justice. We're kind of bothered by justice, but we love a good story. Did he get what he deserved? How'd he get caught? Perfect crime me hole. If it was the perfect crime, I wouldn't know about it.
At BUTI out the front door.
Ты знаешь что? Я мечтаю, что у меня жил кокер-спаниель.
Кокер.
Потом обязательно ирландский сеттер, обязательно 2 французских бульдога, значит, бультерьер. Бультерьер. Такой.
Это гибрид.
Нет, бультерьер это у генерала Паттона был такой, который разбил Роммеля. Вот. Потом, конечно, обязательно несколько пятнистых оленей.
That was some intercepted audio of the state-sponsored covert operation to interfere with the Rosa Tralee. The contest, that is, obviously. You heard it here first, Fresh FM. This was recovered from a tape found in the tape deck of an old Lada that was dumped down in Founders. Collapsed there recently. The Lada, not Founders, but they are kind of one of the same. Amazing what you'd find, like. Anyway, first tune of tonight. Let's see what's on the mix. We love crime, don't we? We love watching it, hearing about it, reading about it. Have you ever been caught stealing?
King shakes the Look at him
Look at him go and turn on the radio. It must be Wednesday evening on Sesh FM. See if you can shit still for an hour. This is Under the Influence, a right good dose of the hits. UTI with Pat B on Sesh FM. Chip Arms.
Shooting the guns.
two highly influential groupings there. Jane's addiction, and I suppose that probably clashed with someone, like Jane's nosy neighbours or maybe her parents.
Jane's at it again.
Police and thieves, they'll be involved somewhere along the line, especially if you've been caught stealing. The black sheep next.
I mean the black keys.
Who's up for a key?
How are you fixed for a key? 10-cent pistol.
Why are we
Obsessed with crime, criminals, justice, law and order. You can't outrun the radio. Happy UTI.
did fall, thunder rolled, bugs crawled back in their holes. The couple screamed, but it was far too late. A jealous heart did retaliate. She hit them with her 10-cent pistol because they were her name. Well, she hit them with her 10-cent pistol and they never been the same. Oh, the same. Oh, the same. Never been the same.
A cheap shot. A cheap shot at revenge or justice, well, it's a blurry line. The moral high ground or the high moral ground, You can tell me from up there. And why did you stay on your horse, that was the Black Keys. We're going to Nebraska next. And we're going to go with Bruce. Because he said so. Because he had a big gun. A dark tale of some murder. They love crossing the state lines. Then you're really in bother. Then a bit of the death penalty, as far as I remember. This is Under the Influence. This is a bit of a murder ballad. This is the warm-up to an hour of murder ballads next week. We still have a few thieves. Bit of robbery. But next week it'll be all murder. There's been a murder. Oh, Brucey. Nebraska, 1982. The lead track. The title track, Under the Influence, of a Wednesday for an hour. An hour equals one bag of turf.
I saw her standing on her front lawn, just a twirling her baton. Me and her went for a ride, and 10 innocent people died. From the town of Lincoln, Nebraska, with a sawed-off 410 on my lap, through the badlands of Wyoming, I killed everything in my path. I can't say that I'm sorry for the things that we done, at least for a little while, sir. Me and her, we had us some fun. Now the jury brought in a guilty verdict, and the judge sentenced me to death. Midnight in prison storeroom, with leather straps across my chest. Sheriff, when the man twas that Switzer and snaps my poor head back, you make sure my pretty baby sitting right there on my lap. They declared me unfit to live. Said into that great void my soul be hurled. He wanted to know why I did what I did. Well, sir, I guess there's just a meanness in this world.
fairly gruesome stuff. Charles Starkweather and Carol Fugate. She was 14. This is back in 1958. Wyoming. Douglas, Wyoming. They killed 10 people and it kind of blew the lid off rural America being safe. Reminds me of In Cold Blood, Truman Capote, and the 1959 murders of the Clutter family. See, these are the blood-soaked rabbit holes that you get stuck in. Hickok and Smith, they were the boys that killed them. Mad stuff like. Everyone going around with shotguns that time, even the old pictures. People carried shotguns everywhere. But anyway, yeah, your man Starkweather was brought back across state lines to a state that had the death penalty from one that didn't. And they fried him in the chair, all sparky. And the young girl who was 14 at the time, she got she got time in prison, yeah. She got 18 years. Mad. Anyway, Joni Mitchell reckons you need to be raised on robbery. So let's get that on. We might pair that up with The Decemberists, The Perfect Crime, number 2. It leads me to believe there's a number 1, but I haven't found it yet. This Under the Influence. We're looking at crime and punishment as a lead into the murder ballads of next week. I don't think I've played Joni Mitchell on the show before. Struggled to get a grasp on some of her music, but I like this one, so that's why I'm playing it. Subjectively good music. Pat B UTI, Sesh FM, Irish Stomach Radio.
He was sitting in the lounge of the Empire Hotel. He was drinking for diversion, he was thinking for himself. A little money riding on the maple leaves. Along comes a lady in lacy sleeves. She said, let me sit down, you know, drinking alone's a shame. It's a shame, it's a grand shame. Look at those jokers through to that damn hockey game. Hey, honey, you got lots of cash. Bring us down the bar and we'll have some laughs. Here's what I'm drinking, I was raised on robbery. I'm a pretty good cook, sitting on my groceries. Come up to my kitchen, I'll show you my best recipe. I try, but I can't save a cent. I'm up at the midnight cook, trying to make my rent. I'm rough, but I'm decent, I was raised on robbery. We had a little money once, they were pushing through a four-lane highway. Government gave us $3,000, you should have seen it fly away. First he bought a 57 Biscayne, he put it in the ditch. He drank up all the rest, that son of a bitch. His blood's bad whiskey, I was raised on robbery. You know you ain't bad looking, I like the way you hold your dreams. Come home with me, honey, I ain't asking for no full-length me. Hey, where you going? Don't go yet, your glass ain't empty and we just met. Don't mean when you're loaded, I was raised on robbery.
Maybe everybody's been raised on a little robbery. That was Joni Mitchell, keeping the double entendres and the metaphors to the fore so she'd get a bit of radio play back in the 70s with a song about the oldest tradition, the oldest profession, the oldest traditional profession. We've got one from the Bios next, The Decemberists, They have one that's going to feature next week too, called The Shankill Butchers. Shout bastards. This is The Perfect Crime #2 from the album The Crane Wife. These boys are good crack. I'd like to see them live. Anyway, let's get this on. We'll see what happens next. Oh yeah, she lightens up a small bit for a couple then. Billy the Kid and Bonnie and Clyde. But first up, December's Sesh FM and all that goes with it. There's no one that isn't tangled up in the cycle of crime. The authorities versus the criminals. Who's who? Say what you see.
Paddy.
Sing muse of the passion of the pistol. Sing muse of the warning by the whistle. A night so dark and the waning. A dawn obscured by a slate sky raining. 20 burglars by the reservoir. A teenage lookout on the signal tower. The mogul's daughter in hog tie. The mogul fingers a wrong guy, all right. It was a perfect crime. 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 Ticker tape parade when the plastic on the safe was blown away, and we all gazed from eye to eye as we mouthed our silent goodbyes. The valley sleeping like a bastard. It stinks of slumber and disaster. 2 words I spoke on the tap wire. The agent's ploy finds a surefire backfire. It was a perfect a perfect, a perfect, a perfect, a perfect, a perfect, a perfect, a perfect line. It was a perfect, 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 perfect, a 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 perfect, a
I suppose the perfect crime is what we all dream of, if we're honest enough to say it out loud. But don't let it slip. This studio could be bugged. How to Lose a Tail next on UTI, with me, Paddy and B, wearing a fake moustache, obviously. We're going to stick these next two together. The Ballad of Bonnie and Clyde, and me and Billy the Kid. We're going way back. We're stretching between 1880 and 1930. The Great Depression. I bet it was. Billy the Kid was kind of just an outlaw and a gunfighter of the Old West. Bonnie and Clyde, it's when the American press started to write about them, and the public interest, the public enemy era. Enemy of the public. I can think of other people who'd be on that list, and it wouldn't be poor old Bonnie and Clyde. Bonnie Elizabeth Parker and Clyde Barrow. Clyde Chestnut Barrow, if you don't mind. They were assassinated. No trial, no jury, no judge. Shot to pieces on the side of the road. Trapped and assassinated. Now that's justice.
We're gonna serve and protect.
The living shit out of you.
Pew pew, pew pew pew.
Brap, 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 brap.
Pew pew, pew pew pew.
Bonnie and Clyde were pretty looking people, but I can tell you people, they were the devil's children. Bonnie and Clyde began their evil doing one lazy afternoon down Savannah way. They robbed a store and hightailed out of that town. Got clean away in a stolen car and waited till the heat died down. Bonnie and Clyde advanced their reputation and made the graduation into the banking business. Reached for the sky, sweet talking Clyde would holler as Bonnie loaded dollars in the Julep bag. Now one brave man, he tried to take them alone. They left him lying in a pool of blood and laughed about it all the way home. I got to be public enemy number one, running and hiding from every American lawman's gun. They used to laugh about dying, but deep inside them they knew that pretty soon they'd be lying beneath the ground together, pushing up there just to welcome the sun and the morning dew. Reliable information, a federal deputation laid a deadly ambush when Bonnie and Clyde came walking in the sunshine. A half a dozen carbines opened up on them. Bonnie and Clyde, they lived a lot together, and finally together they died.
country down the New Mexico line. He had a silver pocket watch that he never did whine. He crippled a piano player for playing his favorite song. Yeah, me and Billy the Kid just never got along. Me and Billy the Kid never got along. I didn't like the way he parted his hair and he wore his gun all wrong. He was bad to the bone, all hopped up on speed. I would have left him alone. It wasn't for that senorita. He gave her silver and he paid her hotel bill. But it was me she loved, and she said she always will. I'd always go and see her when Billy was gone. And me and Billy the Kid never got along. Me and Billy the Kid never got along. I didn't like the way he tied his shoes and he wore his gun all wrong. One day I said, Billy, I got this foolproof scheme with Rob Wells Fargo. It's busting at the seams. I admit that I framed him, but I don't feel bad, 'cause the way I was living was driving me mad. Billy reached for his gun, but his gun was on wrong. And me and Billy the Kid just never got along. His favorite song. Now my baby sings harmony with me to la cucarachas and winds her silver pocket watch and pets her new chihuahua. I moved into the hotel, got a room with a shower. We lay and listen to that watch tick hour after hour. Outside I hear the wind blowing oh so strong, and me and Billy the Kid never got along.
Well, there you have someone that wasn't too happy with Billy the Kid. Just reading about him there, what a header. Definitely Irish. Caught stealing food when he was 14.
Bet you it was potatoes.
And he was dead before he was 21. Poor old Bonnie and Clyde met the same. They were died when they were 23, so, I mean, some of the most famous outlaws were very young. At a time when everyone carried 2 or 3 guns with them. People getting shot left, right and centre. Yeah, so that was around the kind of Depression era. There's some good movies about those guys, some good books. Public Enemy #1. Dillinger and those boys. The Barker gang, the Barrow gang. Yeah, there's some great old stories there about those boys going around. And sure, they were all young and skint and hungry. Robbing banks, nothing wrong with that. Dead and Lovely, Tom Waits. Near the end. Let's get 3 more in if we can. This is one about, it could be in next week's murder ballad, but we kept it for tonight. I have about 25 tabs open here. 24 of them are rabbit holes, so I tread carefully.
Was a middle-class girl. She wasn't over her head. She thought she could stand up in the deep end. He had a bulletproof smile. He had money to burn. She thought she had the moon in her pocket, but now she's dead. She's so dead, forever dead, and love me now. I've always been told to remember this. Don't let a fool kiss you. Never marry for love. He was hard to impress. He knew everyone's secrets. He wore her on his arm just like jewelry. He never gave but he got. He kept her on a leash. He's not the kind of wheel you fall asleep at. But now she's dead, forever dead, forever dead, and lonely now. Come closer, look deeper, you're falling fast, just like a plane on the stormy seas. She made up someone to be. She made up someone to be from. This is one business in the world where there's no problem at all. Everything that is left, they will only plow under. Soon everyone you knew will be gone, and now she's dead, forever dead, forever dead, and lovely now. Now she's dead, forever dead, forever dead, and lonely now. I've always been told to remember this. Don't let a kiss fool you. Never marry for love. Everything has its price. Everything has its place. What's more romantic than dying in the moonlight? Now they're all watching the sea. What's lost can never be broken. Sweet, but they were so shallow, and now she's dead, forever dead, forever dead, lonely now, and now she's dead, forever dead. And she's so dead and lonely.
A French criminal. Another fella that was, he was public enemy number 1 too. Public enemy. About 1930 they started using this term. That prick, J. Edgar Hoover. I love the names. John Dillinger, Babyface Nelson, Bonnie and Clyde, Pretty Boy Floyd, Machine Gun Kelly, Mab Barker, Alvin Karpis. He lived to a ripe old age, I think. He only died in the late 1979 of Lithuanian descent. Yeah, poor old Jacques. A shoot-to-kill policy. The Brits, it's probably the Brits that invented that. He was assassinated, yeah. Murky enough. There was a special gendarme unit tasked with finding him and shooting him in the face. And they did. They set him up. An extrajudicial killing, they call it. They're the only boys that have the total monopoly on actual violence. So, careful. Be careful how you present that to your brain. But who's in charge? And who'll stand by you? And who'll back you? And who'll turn around and shoot you in the back of the head? What have we left? We have... Jenny was a friend of mine. Again, that was another rabbit hole I went down. The preppy killer, I think he was called. Another prick. Who was backed by a load of pricks in the Catholic Church, who said he was sound. Turned out they were pricks too. Funny that, isn't it? This, of course, is by the... Who else but the killers?
Preppy UTI.
Stirring the pot.
So instead of finishing off with a tune tonight, we're going to finish off with a couple of clips. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed the music. We'll be back next week with the murder ballads.
Slug fall talk boogie behind the buses,
And we'll see you next Tuesday.
It may have been business as usual for workers at the Brinks Allied security firm today, but behind the scenes in the rear of the building, Gardaí forensic experts were trying to piece together how 5 men last night carried out one of the most daring robberies in the state's history. It was a meticulously planned raid with a good deal of preparatory work carried out in advance. The gang had cut saplings, removed bolts and sawn through fittings to gain access through the outer fence. They had also laid a bridge of planks across a ditch to facilitate their entry and exit. Then they broke through a second fence into Brink's yard with a stolen blue Mitsubishi Pajero. They smashed through the door to the company where the cash was being transferred from a security truck to the vaults. 2 of the 5 masked raiders overpowered staff and quickly transferred the money. 4 shots were fired and 1 employee was injured when the door was rammed. The raid lasted just 1 minute and has been described by Gardaí as daring and sophisticated. It was timed to perfection. A security van had collected used notes during the day from banks and had just left its Garda and army escorts and was being unloaded here. The gang then made their getaway in a stolen grey Cherokee Jeep. That vehicle was later found abandoned in an isolated field at Barberstown Lane close to Dublin Airport. The Jeep, which appears undamaged, was fitted with false number plates. It carries the name of a Northern Ireland car dealer and had a Northern tax disc. Earlier today, Progressive Democrat leader Mary Harney suggested in the Dáil that Gardaí were aware for some time that a crime of last night's magnitude was about to be committed. The claim was denied by the Taoiseach and later by the Minister for Justice.
We all know that the Gardaí and good police work would allow that the Gardaí would get regular intelligence information that would allow them to fight crime. And in fact, very often this information allows them to intervene and prevent a crime happening. I've been assured by the Commissioner in a personal meeting with the Commissioner that they had no specific information about this crime. If they had, I believe they would have stopped it.
At their news conference, Gardaí leading the investigation also denied that they had any direct knowledge.
Obviously, we don't want to go into detail about what we do operationally, but I don't think the question really deserves an answer in the sense if we knew that this was going to happen, we would have done something about it.
Could I ask you about likely suspects at this stage? There's been some talk of a North Dublin inner city gang.
Sorry, Chief Superintendent, would you?
Yes, well, in relation to that, I would say we have an open mind. We're obviously looking at various groups, but we haven't excluded any particular person or group from our inquiries at the moment.
8 years after the Marino Mart robbery, a gang of armed and masked men broke into the Brinks Allied Security cash holding depot at Clonshock in North Dublin. This time, the loss was more than double that of Securicor's. £2.8 million in cash was driven away across the back fields and never recovered. Once again, the prime suspect was Gerard Hutch.
I know all about it. I've been arrested, questioned about it. I've been written about. That happened in 95. I thought it was 96. It was 95. 13 years ago.
£2.8 million.
Yeah.
The biggest robbery in the history of the state at the time.
Yeah.
You say you know all about it. Tell us about it.
I've read all about it in the newspapers. That's what I know about it. And any time it's written about, my photograph is thrown in. I was brought down to the station, arrested.
Well, what was that like?
Well, they interrogated me about the robbery. And I think they were satisfied it wasn't me and they released me.
I don't think they were satisfied it wasn't you.
They released me at the end of the day.
Well, they had to because they had no evidence on you, because it was such a well-planned job.
No, if you've no evidence on something, it's obviously you didn't do it.
No, it's not obvious you didn't do it.
You know, if everyone knows you've done it, like, everyone knows you've done it, there has to be stuff to back it up.
The main suspect was arrested following an exhaustive Garda inquiry and nothing of evidential value. When you go in and you have to, the very first thing that you have to tell a person who's been interviewed is you're not obliged to say anything unless you wish to do so, but anything you do say will be taken down and given in evidence. You're actually telling that person to stay quiet. And that's the reality of it.
And is that what happened?
That's basically what happened. He would talk the hind legs off you about anything else that you wanted to talk about, but ask him anything in relation to the robbery, he knew nothing, and on the advice of a solicitor, he had nothing to say.
In fairness, the Gardaí believe you did it.
Yeah.
There's enough intelligence to link you to that robbery. There's enough intelligence to link you to the Marino Mart robbery. The community believe you did it. And every criminal in Dublin believes you did it.
Yeah. Okay. And why would they all believe that? Not the guards, every criminal and every people in the city. Because they read it in the paper. I'm beginning to believe I've done it myself from reading it in the paper. When you read these things every week after week, there must be no smoke without fire. It looks that way, it sounds that way. If it barks, it's a dog. I didn't do the robbery, you know.
But why do you say that when you know you did and everybody else knows you did it?
No.
I mean, the money that you made, the figures just don't add up. I mean, we've just gone into the Marino Mart one.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, the compensation claim, it doesn't really wash.
It doesn't wash with you, it washes with me.
Well, the evidence is there in the money and the figures that don't add up. Because 1 minute, you're a guy who has no money, who's grown up in poverty.
Yeah.
You get a compensation claim.
Yeah.
And now you're a multimillionaire. Very suddenly you're a multimillionaire. And coincidentally, around the same time, 2 of the biggest armed robberies in the history of the state are carried out.
Yeah.
And you're linked to both of them.
Yeah. That's it.
Do you really expect people to believe that?
I don't care what they believe, to be honest. But what can I say? If everyone believes I done them, hands up. I didn't do them.
Ah!